Hello and welcome back to MAFT UK. What am I doing this weekend? Well, this weekend I'm going to try out two different methods of luxurious camping. In other words, I've brought my hammock with me, but I've also brought my tent with me, and I'm going to test my brand new Sea to Summit Comfort Deluxe mat with a mountain tent, and I'm also going to try out one of my best and most comfiest hammocks, and I'm going to test them against each other. Which one do I prefer? In the meantime, obviously in the Lake District, there's plenty of good, lovely ale to be had. This one is Coniston Brewery Bluebird Bitter, obviously named after the famous bluebird that lives in the woods, or something to do with the boat that they had on the water at some time. I think this is better than Scrutix O Dirigible or Hiker's Arse Warbler. I think it tips it just slightly. Welcome to MAFT UK. Now, it might be nice and sunny right now, but I guarantee you there is bad weather on the way. 2 nights it's gonna come in about 10 o'clock tonight, and it's gonna rain all the way through Sunday into Monday. So here we are then. Already we're going to put both lots of kit up now. I'm not going to wait until tomorrow and put the other one up because it's going to rain, so I don't want to do that in the rain. I might as well put them up now and everything's sorted. So my first option is my tent. This tent isn't a lightweight tent. I think it's about 2.5 kilograms. It's a Van Gogh Spectre 200. It is basically classed as a 3-season tent. It's not. I've used it in the mountains in the snow couple of times and works perfectly fine. It's a brilliant tent. In fact, it's the basic format for some of the lightweight helium tents that Van Gogh released now. It's a brilliant tent. It's not, I'm getting a new one, but this one is all I've got. This is the lightest one I've got at the moment, and I really do enjoy using this tent. However, it is a hump and bump to carry, and having to carry both my hammock gear and my tenting equipment has been quite a slog to get up the hill, hence why I've only come the short distance instead of slogging all the way to the further points. So let's get this up. I'm not going to show you putting this tent up. It's a typical design. You've seen it loads and loads of times, and we'll just snap to that now. So a quick walk around the Spectre 200. Now I will add that this tent isn't available any longer. It is an old tent, but it has the early tension bands that the modern ones have. It's just an excellent tent all round. The only real modifications I have done is that for winter use I have 2 guys at this location, so I can go one that way, and whichever, if the wind changes throughout the night, I still get the maximum support. The only other real mod that I have is I have this shock cord, and I can, if I go into the woods with it, I can use it like that. So if it is raining, I still have a porch, I still have access to the air, but the rain won't come in, and it gives me a little bit more space to cook. There is very limited porch on this tent, so you have to create as much as you possibly can. Now if you had a walking stick, some walking poles, you could simply peg it out onto the pole as well, giving you this extra little bit of a porch. It is a low tent, but when you sit up inside, it gives you plenty of room. So let's have a look inside. So a quick look inside. We have our tension and band straps. I always erect the tent with those in place, just in case it's stormy when I'm already there. It has 3 hanging points for any of your gear lines or anything. There used to be a little mesh thing that went across there, but I lost that many years ago. Storage bins, so you can put your gear in there should you wish. The modern versions have mesh, no seams, and you have another one to the back, and I can just about sit up. So it is doable. You can administrate yourself in this tent. So that's why it's one of my favourites. I've had it for years. It is a cracking tent. I constantly treat the external skin. Condensation, not really been a huge problem, but it can be a problem, as with any tent. I don't know many tents that don't have that problem. But the full side mesh certainly helps with that. So this whole side is mesh there, even when you do the door up, and with that little porch detail. Next to go in will be my brand new Sea to Summit Airstream Comfort Deluxe. This is as good as it gets, apparently, and tonight I'm going to find out. So let's get this inflated, let's get it in the tent. That is absolutely fantastic. Can't beat it. Finally, yes, yet another different stuff sack. I can't find my other ones. My ground dweller. Now this is far too warm for this time of year. It really is far too warm. You know what? I don't care. It still weighs lighter than any one of my sleeping bags, and if I want to lie on top of it, or just stick a leg out, or stick an arm out, or just whatever, I can still do it. I have that luxury with a ground dweller, so I'm not bothered that this is a really thick down. I don't need to be in it if I don't want to. So this goes in. And now it's just a pillow. So let's have a look at our final setup. The competition is now on. This is my DD XL hammock, and I have said it in the past, and I'll always say it. It is without doubt the most comfortable hammock I've ever slept in. It is tremendous. The problem is, it's huge. It's heavy, it's huge. It's not something you want to carry with you all the time. And it needs a vast tarp to keep everything away from the edges, because the constant rubbing up against the tarp because of the hoops will drive you insane. But for comfort, this is the best that I've ever slept in. And I've got 5 hammocks, and this is the best, without a doubt. Manufacturing issues, yes, I've always said that too, but it is a great hammock. My tarp, this is a 4x3 DD tarp. My underquilt is a DD underquilt. So this is some of the first gear that I actually purchased, and it's really comfortable. And I can't complain about that at all. I can't. And I think credit where it's due. You really get a nice sleep in it. The hanging system is the DD slings, DD tree huggers, and my own made whoopee slings again. So that's our hammock setup, our tent setup, all done now, all good to go, ready for tonight. And I will sleep in it tonight. Nearly pad, important. Notice not a lot of porch area in this. These 2 manners, and I tell you something now, 2 manners, I think not. So here we go. There's my beautiful mat, my top quilt or ground dweller, and in the back there, my cushion. 2 people in here, probably just. 2 mats of that size, not a chance. No way. Again, my only mod on this one is double guidelines here to steady it up in the winter. So there we are. Competition has started. Tonight, tent. Tomorrow night, hammock. Tonight and from the remainder of the weekend, it's going to rain. Got my cooker set up. The only thing I've got to go make this afternoon is a cheese board, and you can join me for that. Oh, one other thing, I have a new toy. This here is my Ridge Monkey Bivy Light, used for fishing. Who says it has to be used just for fishing? Goes on my tripod with a special clamp. This one comes with a remote control. So let's go. There we are. Let's have green. No, let's have red. And dim. And off. There we are. It's a terrific thing. So let's think about tonight when I'm doing my usual waffle, maybe even telling a story. I previously have put up head torches, extra head torches, and put them on sticks and posted them out and shone the light in on me so as I didn't get this half-face shadow. And tonight, hopefully, when I'm doing my waffle, you'll be able to see all of my boat race clearly due to the light. Whether the red light and the green light have any significant difference on colour, frames, ambiance, I don't know. That's not the point of it. The point is that I don't need now two sticks sticking out there. And there's my setup. You will notice already I'm sat in my hammock. It's because there's nothing to sit on over there, is there, in the tent? You know, that's one for the hammock already. I guess I've just realised I'm sat in my hammock, and I've got my tent over there, and I'm supposed to be in that, but I automatically went over here because it's a seat, and it's a comfortable seat. So I think, from a comfort point of view, I'm already on half a point towards the hammock. So half a point, 0.5 hammock. Time to go and find a cheese board, I think, for tonight's cheese, biscuits and wine. That's not bad, is it? Three-quarters of an inch either side. That has got to be 6 inch. I've been coming up here now since 2012, 2011, 2012, and I have never ever seen it this dry before. I've actually come to find water. I don't want to use my drinking water to wet this towel, just to experiment with something I seen on a video recently, which was Camilla O Fia, and she used a towel to cool her drinks, and also she had a special cooling jacket for the dog. So I thought, cool my beer. But I'm not going to waste drinking water to cool a beer, so I've come for a little walk this evening to see if I can find water, and all my water spots that I know of bone dry. Quite amazing. Oh well, keep searching. Lovely night. It's going to piss down later, but it's a nice night now. Water source appears to be dry. Not really a surprise. Oh dear. This isn't looking good. Oops. I only know of one more. The search for water continues. Well, that's that. I'm really glad I brought plenty of water with me, because if I was relying on the local sources, I'd be screwed right now. Yeah, I just had a little bit of a mess about with the rocks. I know I could, if I dug, I could get some. But the thing is, all the little water cleaners and fresh water shrimps are in there, and I don't want to mess with them because they're just waiting for the next rains, which are tonight. So there's no point disturbing their homes just so I can prove a point. So I'm not going to do it. But I could get water out there if I wanted. I could dig down and get some. But no, I'm not going to do it just for the sake of it. Well, I have technically just found some from a little trough that I didn't know existed. Just found it. The local wildlife give this one away. Of all the sources in this entire area, the one that give that one away, keep. Bearing in mind, there is quite a bit down there, so I wasn't really in that much trouble. This is why I didn't really want to use my drinking water, because it's just a beer. But apparently, and I already know the theory behind it, I've never put it into practice before, so I'll give that a go and see if that actually cools the beer. That's quite interesting. So let's give that a go. Can't see why it won't work. Look, I'm only relaxing. You don't have to have pot noodles. You're only limited by your imagination. If you're hungry, go and get something that you like. If you're treating yourself to a 2-day on your own chilling out, then Take stuff that you like. I love cheese and crackers with wine. Well, it's had over an hour. In fact, hour and a half in the cool towel. Let's see if that actually did anything, shall we? This one is Bluebird Bitter, the English Pale Ale American Aroma Hops. Not as nice as the other one. The other one was a darker bitter. Bottled conditioned. This is I don't mind pale ale normally, but this doesn't taste like a pale ale or anything. I don't know. It's quite unique. Not that nice. I shan't be buying another one. Never mind. I've still got the rest of that wine to finish. I mean, I can't open a bottle of wine and leave it. I mean, you can't. Can you? (22:31). That is exactly when they said the rain was going to start. So they nailed that bit, didn't they? Really glad I got this tarp up. Now it comes to the point where we see where the water's going to go with the tarp. See if I've got it right, or I'm expecting the water to collect and drop off the far right hand corner. That is what I'm expecting. You never know. Let's see, shall we? So here we are. It is gone 12:10. Time to turn in. I am going to go into my tent now. Yes, I've sat in my wonderful hammock chilling out rather than sitting in the tent. Why would I sit in a tent? But yeah, it is time to go and try out my new air mat and see how we go. That's the whole purpose of the weekend. So let's get it on, let's bring it on. And that sound, I don't know if you picked that up, was my tarp emptying its water. So then, how was my first night? Well, I woke up twice. Once for a wee. And apart from that, very, very comfortable. I'm really, really surprised. This mat is still completely inflated. I let a bit of air out last night because it was a bit too hard. But yeah, honestly, very, very impressive. My time is it? 6:48. I didn't bottom out. I haven't bottomed out. I'm still floating in air on this wonderful mat. So I'm going to say, oh, that's a massive thumbs up for me. Massive. So let's have a quick recap. Last night, in the tent, on my new airbed. How was it? You know what? It was quite comfortable. I was quite surprised, really. It is probably one of the best night's sleep I've had on an airbed yet, without a shadow of a doubt. When I was studying or researching which airbed to use, I did watch an end of a video where a guy did an airbed roll test about noise, and what he did was that he rolled from one airbed to the next. So you sort of went one, rolled over to the next, rolled over to the next, to assess the noise level. And I've never actually slept on a decent airbed before, but yeah, you know what, they are quite noisy, aren't they? I didn't realise they were that noisy. I guess I wouldn't know that. I'm used to just foam mats or self-inflating mats, anything like that, so which are noisy at all. But these things, yes, definitely noisy. So yeah, I get why he did that now. I didn't quite sort of understand why I did it in the first place. I just didn't see the need for it, but now I understand why I did it. So all in all, a good, comfy night. But you have to look at where I'm now sat. I'm sat back in my hammock, and I'm sat here because it's comfortable, and I can also see out, and it's raining right now, and if I was in that tent I couldn't see out. Okay, I was just watching back some of the stuff I recorded this morning, and while I was watching it, something dawned on me, and it is quite important really, so I'm going to cut that short now. I just want you to watch this statement that I make now, that I made a little bit earlier as well, and I think that is more prominent, and it sort of relates to the situation more. Whichever way I choose to do this video, whichever way I go about choosing which I prefer, it's never going to be scientific. It is going to be all about my personal preference. And we have to allow for the fact that we're going to get the yes but scenario. You know, people are going to offer opinions about why they think tents are more superior than hammocks. And I totally understand that, and I totally get that, and bring it on, okay? I haven't chosen yet, but I think we might know where I might go with it. Last night, in there was a perfectly comfortable night. It was. I'm not going to lie about that, and I'm not going to say I was uncomfortable when I wasn't. So that worked for me, and I'm really pleased. And I now know that come winter, when I've got my better tent, lighter tent, that I can use it, that system is going to keep me comfortable on the ground. I already know that because of last night. But every single time I stop working or being in that tent, I go straight over to my hammock. Why? Well, because it's shelter. It's been pouring down all morning, and I haven't got wet at all because I've been under the shelter. I've also had an hour's kip in the hammock this morning. I went out to work, I came back to work, I did what I had to do, a bit of admin, and then I had an hour's kip because it was sheltered. I could see around me, I could hear around me, and it was a totally different concept to camping. I know I'm going to have a comfortable night tonight also, and let's face it, I already know which I prefer. The experiment was, really, does the mat work? Is the mat going to make a massive difference to me in the winter? Yes, of course it is. It really is going to make a difference. And that, to me, is a success. I could pack my stuff up now and go home because I already know that mat works and I'm happy. I'm never ever going to sacrifice my hammock for a tent. They are a world apart. And it's all about your concept of camping. It's all about how you perceive it. You are very safe and secure in that tent. There's a lot more going on from the weather in that tent. You can be far, far safer, a lot more secure. And it is, from that point of view, tents are far, far better than hammocks. If you're like me and you enjoy the open air and you like to look out and you like to see things and you like to enjoy the environment you're in, then a tent isn't for you. That's for you up there. If you want to experience more of the woods and the countryside that you live in, that's what you need, one of those. They're fantastic for a particular purpose, but they are fantastic for being out in the woods and enjoying it for what it is. That'll give you a good night's kip. That creates an environment. They're two different worlds. I have seen many videos when it comes to tents or hammocks. Weight wise, they're pretty much the same depending on your gear. You could have the lightest of this, the lightest of that, and you could spend an awful lot of money on it. And yes, you could beat one by another. So you could use an old army sleeping bag and then put a big old heavy tarp in it and say, oh yeah, hammock gear is far, far heavier than camping gear. Look at my little tent and my little sleeping bag. You know, you could do that. So on an average person like me, there's not a lot on it. You've got your sleeping bag, you've got to carry that anyhow. You've got your tent, or you've got a hammock and tarp. The two outbalance each other. I don't think you can compare hammocking to camping. They are two different worlds. They are not the same. So for all those other videos that I've ever watched, you missed that, I think. You missed that point. They're not the same style. It's a totally different concept of how to be out and about. And That is the difference. They're both brilliant. They both have different purposes. You have to decide which one you want to experience, and that is it. There is no other side to it. Alright, I think people have missed that. Who's that? Hello, Thor. It's you. Right, mate, I found them. They're back in the shops again. So you and your mate can enjoy one each. Alright, so they'll be on your way. As soon as I get the opportunity to put these in the post for you, they're yours. Enjoy. Ooh. Brilliant beer. That little tin works a treat. Wherever I put that stuff yesterday, I never got bitten. Wherever I didn't put it, I got bitten. Especially on the back, lower back. Where my t-shirt was running up, I was sat down cooking dinner last night. No, I didn't cook dinner, did I? I had cheese and crackers. But when I was sat having my cheese and crackers, the mosquitoes, or the little biting insects, got on me and they bit me on the lower back. So they got me there. But where I had it, on my arms, on my neck and on the back of my head, I was not plagued at all. It works a treat. It stinks like fire. It really does. And if you go and stand next to somebody, they'll go, well, have you been burning stuff? Oh God, that's beautiful. I love it. Yeah, it works a treat. Really good stuff. Wherever you put it. If you don't put it on, it doesn't work, as I found out. So I've got 3 big bites on my back. Bugger. The wind's gusting a bit, and this tree came over last winter. So that pulled over last winter, and it's hung up in another tree, and every time the wind goes or gusts, it creaks. So I think it's going to pull that other tree over. So I think if the wind really does build up, I think they'll both go. Yeah, we got a good hiding here. That's the arse end of my camp. Roe deer in here all the time. Terrific wood. Ooh. There's only one thing to do when it's like this. Just put your feet up, have a bit of a lie down. I'm bleeding well gonna. Had a bit of a reorg with the tarp. I changed the direction. I don't know how heavy the rain is going to get tonight. It is forecast quite bad, so although it is nice and clear now, I've given myself more porch area, and I've also dropped the tarp further down at the back, so it gives me more protection from the underquilt. So it can blow quite hard and it can rain quite hard. The only real issue is I'm very close. My drip rings are very close to the end of the tarp, so there is a potential for it to bypass the end of the hammock, so we'll have to see how we go on. So it is just about fits under this way. Also just trying to make sure all the water sheds. I think it will shed this way. I think the water will shed. I'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, bit of a reorg. Let's see how we go with that. So I did this bit of a reorg and I've just done dinner again for this evening. I've got some chilli and rice in my pan, and I've got the remains from yesterday, which is my cheese crackers, some crisps there as well, some vintage cider and another bottle of wine to see me through the evening. Now that's my view for today, or this evening, and another peaceful night's sleep. Forecast more rain, but you know, I suppose I'll have to rough it, and rough it I will. It's a bit early, but let's give it a go. I hadn't heard an owl until then. See, I may say hammocks are absolutely fantastically comfy, and they are. However, there is a certain amount of faff you have to put up with. So let's start by getting into our foot box. There we go. We are now in our foot box, and now we start the wriggle dance to get all the quilt tucked in, and there we go, and that's it. Oh boy, this is extremely comfortable. This is my top quilt, and notice my arms are freely outside. I can pop out a leg, I can hold the camera, and should I wish to tuck things in, I can. And that's the beauty of this ground dweller or a top quilt. Well, I'm sorry that things are rocking slightly. It's just the way it is. You can't beat it. You just can't beat it. Well, you have to get a few things right. Under quilts, that sort of stuff. If you get them right, if you nail them, then you're in for a comfy night's sleep. Get them wrong, and you'll struggle. You'll be cold, and you'll think it's the worst thing you've ever done. But you just need to know what you're doing. That's all. That's all you need to do. Figure it out, trial and error, and then you'll be fine. So, yeah, that's it. Warm as toast, and with ventilation. That's quite an interesting shot, isn't it? There's quite a lot going on there, isn't it? So let's just change the ambience slightly. Let's go red. Ooh. Yeah, that's a little bit spooky. Let's go green. Oh, I like green. Now that is like a scene out of Alien, isn't it? What I've actually got there, I've got my bivy light on the outside, so that can attract as many bugs as it wants, but my bug screen in this hammock is not going to let anything in. So I can have all the light that I want, so we just go to white, but I don't get the bugs. I really like that. That is something that I'm really glad I've bought. You know, you can buy lots of stuff and you can waste lots of money, but yeah, I like that. That's good. That's good, that. Let's go red. Ooh, don't like red. Green. I like green. White. Yeah, okay. Ooh, that was scary. Some deadfall has just fallen over
very, very closely. I just had a look with a torch, I couldn't see it immediately, but yeah, the wind obviously got something, and the deadfall came crashing down to the ground. A lot of it around here, got to be so careful. It certainly woke me up. Well, here we are on our final morning. Sunday morning. It's not bright and breezy, it's wet and breezy, but I stayed perfectly warm and dry last night in my wonderful hammock. I think what I'm going to do, because of the weather conditions, it's only going to get worse. I think I'm going to pack up, and then I will do my close of the weekend at home, I think. So how do you end a video like that? There must be some sort of conclusion drawn. Well, I did say the only real experiment that was going on there was whether that mat was going to be suitable enough for me, and it clearly was. As for whether I was going to go to tents or hammocks, well, of course, in that particular environment, hammocks will rule every single day. When the weather gets nasty and horrible, and it really does get windier and more dramatic, then the tent's going to win. Hammocks and tarps can't deal with as much as tents can because they're not designed to. You can't support them and prop them safe enough. They all flap about, rip, tear, or do whatever they got to do when you're in the elements, whereas a tent designed to withstand 80-mile-an-hour winds will withstand 80-mile-an-hour winds. So it's all about fit for purpose. What purpose are you putting it under? What purpose do you want to use your item? Do you want to go out in that extreme weather in a tarp and hammock? Probably not. But do you want to go, or can you go in a tent? Yes, you can. Yeah, you can. They're designed for it. So the arguments. There is no argument. There is no argument. You can't say one's better than the other. They're not. They're both designed to do two different jobs completely. So that is how I'm going to end the video. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for watching all the way through to this point now. At the end of the day, it was me enjoying myself in the woods once again, chillaxing, having fun. Oh, and I must say the bivy light idea stuck to the tripod. That was the Cat King 71's idea. It wasn't mine. I stole it off him. I watched what he was doing when I went down to Kingfisher, and he had his camera set up like that, and I thought, I like that. So we stole his idea, or I stole his idea. I did tell him I was going to, so it's not a surprise, but thanks for that, Chris. Yeah, thank you to everyone again. Thank you for the comments from the last video. It was great, and I'll see you soon. See you later. Bye-bye.